if a woman's had a child when she's single but doesn't want a relationship like with a stable relationship with a man, that's fine because I was raised by a single mother, so I know what it's like for somebody to be raised like that. But I don't think it's right to let go of the core family values. I think when it's necessary, I think you should always be able to be able to have a family like mom and dad. I think it does you no harm, but I still think it's probably the ideal thing to do. Not necessarily marriage, but I think a long-term stable relationship. Yeah, I think that to be happy. I think marriage, unless you're committed to it, you're committed to your partner, you shouldn't really go into marriage. It shouldn't be taken lightly. But I think a long-term relationship also has the same reason. It's just the only difference I believe is that it's the law that changes that thing. As long as you're happy and it's a stable relationship, then it's fine. I think marriage is something that you should commit to once the stable, happy relationship has occurred, not just to have a happy, stable relationship. I think it depends. It depends on the type of person you are. I think if you've been in a long-term relationship and you've just got out one, you may not be happy. You may want to, but it depends. I think that's a person's personal choice. That shouldn't be, dictated. I'd like to have a few cases of homosexual couples to have because at the end of the day, the family unit should be stable. Um, I don't know because I don't think you should begrudge someone on their sexuality. I think it should be whether they're fit to be parents or not. But that depends. I mean, I think I'd like to see a few cases first. I'd like to see people being allowed, homosexual couples being allowed to do it, not just being told they can't because we live in a heterosexual community. I think it should be a bit of leeway to let people make their own mind up. Obviously, the first thing that comes first is the child. So if they're feeling happy, and the family unit stable, then there should be no problem really. Yes, I do. I think as long as you're happy with each other and you stay faithful, it doesn't really matter. I mean, because some marriages people get married for the sake of, they may be pressured into it or they may have had a baby, and it's not because they're happy with each other. I think as long as a relationship's successful, I don't think marriage should be, the key to making it a long-term relationship or, being successful. Definitely, because my mother worked. She's a single mother and she worked all her life, and I still have a really good relationship with her. And I think it's the same. I think, as long as you have the connection with your mother, it doesn't matter if she's working or she's not working. But I think a working mother has that just the same amount, if not more, of a good relationship with their kids and stable as well. Because I appreciated what she done for me. I think it's dependent on how much their mother works. I think there needs to be a balance. I think if they work too much and they don't see enough of their mom and dad, yeah, the child may become distant or may not have a close relationship with their parent. But I think it's good that your parents work because it gives you some type of stability financially, and then later on in life they'll be able to give more time to you because they've worked hard to make sure your future's there. So I think it's sort of it needs to be a balance. I don't think you should have one or the other or too much of the other thing. I think it's changing now. I think it's good because as we've become more equality, there's more equality, sorry, within the working place now. That women have the same opportunities as us. I think it's good. I think that you can have both. You can have a career and then you can decide to have a family later now. As a geographer, I've been seeing that the trend is that people now have marriage, relationships, kids later on in life after they've established a career, which can only be a good thing because it means that they've got a financial security before they start a family, which means it can only lead to better things. I think a woman should have the right to do both, not just one or the other. As a house, I've never been a housewife, but
Yeah.
I think if you can look after your kids, if you've got the opportunity, if one of you can work and support your income, it's a good thing. But I think, like I said, I think, you know, you don't. A lot of women don't want to just be classed as a housewife. They want something more. So they should, you know. I think it's good that a woman has a career. I think it's, it just means that, they give more as well, and it's not just about looking after the kids. So I think it is, yeah, being a housewife, you shouldn't be undermined for what you're doing. But either way, I think, it's a good thing. To be an independent person, I think you need to be on your own 2 feet. I think nowadays, I think women should be allowed, to, have the same rights and be, the equality. And I think within that, when they get a job, they'll have the same sort of feelings, and I think they will probably have a greater amount of, good feeling about having a job. Yeah, I think if a good successful relationship means if both of you are helping each other out, if you're stuck, someone else can help each other out. I think that's a good foundation for a successful relationship. I think if both people are working, it means less pressure on one person. So I think it's a really good thing if both husband and wife can contribute. I think they should be well suited, but I don't think some fathers are. I think it's changing slowly now because a lot of more dads stay at home now with their kids because maybe their wife goes out and is the breadwinner, which is a perfectly fine thing. I think as a father, I think we need to know. But I think, I think fathers are suited to do that job. They just need to realise they can do it. Yeah, again, I think going back to what I said earlier, I think there should be a balance. I think both should have equal responsibility, so it shouldn't just be one. Depending though, if either man or woman, if you're the breadwinner, if you're the only person working, sometimes you may not have the time to share the responsibilities equally. So I think in those cases you have to make an exception and see what you can do and compromise. Hard work is one of the things children need to be taught. I think to know that if you work hard, you can succeed in life. If you, put the effort in, I think hard work is one of the main factors kids should be taught by parents and by society, because with hard work you can expect to see results. If you put effort in, if you work hard, you're going to reap the rewards at the end of the day. Plus it, makes you a better, hard worker means you're not as lazy. Good manners, I think that's a good thing children should be taught, because being respectful to other people and learning how to get on with different cultures and different types, I think is a very important thing for kids to learn, so when they go out into the wider world they can handle being in a different situation with people they may not have met before by using good manners. Independence is really key, because if you can learn to stand on your own 2 feet, you can go anywhere, you can do anything, you won't be as phased, you won't be as nervous to do something. I think that's really good. I think also determination and perseverance is really, really important, because even if you fail at something, I think kids need to realise that if you try harder, if you do it again, if you pick yourself up, you'll, eventually get there. I think you should have less of a culture of trying to be perfect all the time, because mistakes make you stronger and you can learn. So that determination, that perseverance to do something is really good. Tolerance and respect of other people is actually key, because we all probably eventually, we're living in a more multicultural society, we live with different types of people, we have to get along with people, we have to learn their culture. I think for me personally, as a geographer, it's easy to see how you can mix with other cultures, because when I go to another country, I'm actually English, I'm an Englishman, whereas in this country sometimes I may not be seen as that. But I think it's good to be tolerant of other people and to learn people's culture so you know where you're going. Religious faith is important. I think as long as it's your own personal thing, you don't preach it to anybody. I think religious faith is a good thing to teach kids, because most religions have a good backbone, a good structure of things they teach. Their faith teaches, it teaches some faith, generally it teaches to be a good person, be fearful, watch your actions. But I think the main thing with that is kids need to be taught it's a personal thing. It's not something that you should try and force on other people. It's their choice at the end of the day.